Welcome back to FT Math Corner with Miss Morris. So last time we used the elimination method to eliminate y from the equation. Today we'll use the elimination method to eliminate x from the equation using these three simple steps. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to label both equations. So my first equation is equation 1 and my second equation is equation 2. Let's now go to the steps. Step 1. We're to determine which variable we wish to eliminate. We will eliminate x. We need to go to step 2, which is to make the coefficients of x in both equations the same. In the last video, we looked at coefficients. So here's a quick reminder. If I have x, 2x, 3x, 4x, the coefficient of 2x is 2, 3x is 3, 4x is 4. These are the numbers that I can clearly see in front of my variables. Now you're going to notice I use variables a lot. These are the unknown. These are the letters that represent the unknown. So for x, I cannot see it. That's because it's invisible. And that invisible number is 1. 1x is the same as x. We need to make the coefficients the same. Look at the coefficients for x. In equation 1, it is 2x. In equation 2, it is 1. They are different. We need to make them the same. Now, would you agree that if I multiply this x by 2, it will be 2x, but I can't just change one thing in an equation. I have to change everything. So if I multiply it by 2, I would have to multiply this entire equation by 2, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to transform this equation by multiplying it by 2. But before I do so, look at the third step. The third step is to make the signs different or opposite, meaning that if one is positive, the other must be negative. So let's look at x again. Both of them are positive. How do I know that they're positive? Well, there's no minus in front of them, because if they're not positive, then they must be negative. Unless, of course, it's 0, which is neither negative nor positive. It's neutral. We need to make one of them negative. Look at what we can do. We will multiply this entire equation by 2. Remember, instead of multiplying it by 2, I can multiply it by minus 2 or negative 2, whatever you call it. If I do so, then I will now have the coefficients the same and the signs different. We will multiply equation, in short, EQN, equation 2 by minus 2. So when we do that, this is the equation we will end up with. So minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times y is minus 2y. And all of that is equal to minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. I will call this equation equation 3. Now, if you're struggling to arrive at this, please watch my previous video where I got into detail on how to work with the multiplication of signs. So go and watch that video and meet me back here. Let's continue. So we have transformed equation 2 to get equation 3. So in this case, we will only work with equation 1 and equation 2. So we don't need equation 2 right now. Let's go back to the steps. So yes, we are eliminating x. Are the coefficients of x the same? Well, this is 2, this is 2. Yes. Are the signs different? This is positive, this is negative. Yes. So we can go ahead and solve. Now, before we start, always remember this. Think of the coefficients the numbers in front of the variables as the ones that are doing all the work. So the letters only represent something. They tell you the family they belong to. So X belongs to the X family and Y belongs to the Y family. So two different families. Now we're gonna add downwards. Since we're dealing with two equations, we're adding downwards, okay? So we're looking downwards. So I had to rewrite equation 3 so that you can see it better. So downward, you're looking at it in this or vertically. As was said earlier, the coefficients are the ones doing the work. So in equation 1, I have 2. So look at x. I have 2 and I owe 2. So you can think of a minus as what you owe and the plus as what you have. So if I have 2 and I owe 2, it means I'm left with nothing. So now you see how x is removed from the equation, because when the coefficients are the same and the signs are opposite, it means that they will cancel each other. So they will no longer be a part of the equation. So x is eliminated. Let's now move on to y. So if I have 1, remember that 1y is the same as y. So when you don't see the coefficient, it means that it is 1. So if I have 1 and I owe 2, it means I still owe 1. That's minus 1. So I will write that as minus 1y, which is the same as minus y. So let's go. So this is minus y is equal, if I have 7 and I owe 10, it means I still owe 3. So that's minus 3. So now I have minus y is equal to minus 3. But since I'm finding the value of y, as in y equal to, y cannot be minus or negative. It must be positive. So this that I have here is the same as minus 1y is equal to minus 3. Okay? So I need to make it positive. What I could do is I could divide both sides by minus 1. So if I divide both sides by minus 1, so I have y is equal to 3. If you don't know how to do this part, working with the signs, go back to my previous video where I got into detail. Yes, it means I just need to divide both sides by 1. And by doing so, I have y is equal to 3. So now I know the value of y, I can go ahead and substitute, meaning I will plug in this value for y into one of my equations. So I will use either equation 1 or 2. So let's choose equation 2. So we're going to substitute for short sub 3 4y in equation 2. So what is equation 2? It is x plus y is equal to 5. So this means wherever I see y, I will put 3. So I have x here plus 3 is equal to 5. I need to get x by itself, but I have a 3 here. So I need to bring this 3 over the equal sign. So when I bring it over the equal sign, I already have 5 here. Remember, I'm bringing this 3 over. So when I bring it over the equal sign, this will not be positive. It will be negative. So this will be minus 3. So x is equal to 2. And that's it.